Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm George, and today I'm here in Ramsgate, in the southeast of England. Not that far from London actually, so got the train down here, and my first time here, so basically going to be looking for a nice spot to paint, then probably have some fish and chips or something like that once I'm done. So yeah, really nice sunny day, going to be good weather to paint in. It's warm, but it's not too warm. There's a nice breeze. And here I'm just seeing the sea for the first time, a nice sandy beach. And a really nice colour to the sea, actually. So remember, please subscribe to my channel. Let's find a good spot to paint.
I'm working on a 40 by 25 centimeter gesso primed panel that I've toned to a neutral grey. Working on this grey mid-tone helps me see the values and colours of the initial paint strokes more accurately, as if I were to paint on a white surface, the initial colour mixes will look too dark in comparison. I also find having an undertone particularly useful when working alla prima or wet into wet, which is a quick and direct approach to painting, as there's a high chance that certain areas won't be completely covered by my brush strokes, so having this grey tone or even another colour breaking through these sections would be less distracting than if bits of white canvas were showing through and significantly contrasting with the values of the colour mixes that I'm painting. To paint the sea, I start by painting the darkest section of the sea, which is this green section of the sea in the distance on the horizon, and then I make a separate colour mix for the area of sea which is closer to the foreground, and to make that colour mix I use titanium white, cadmium yellow, ultramarine blue, and I also add a touch of alizarin crimson, which just helps neutralise the vibrancy of the green in this mix. To paint the lightness of the waves, I use mostly titanium white, but I also add a small touch of ultramarine blue and raw umber just to grey down the white slightly so I'm not at the very end of my value scale. That means I can paint a few even lighter highlights on top of these light sections of the waves. And I try and find patterns which I like and I feel are interesting, such as the waves break in as they meet the shore, and then you also get this section of froth where the waves have already broken and are starting to wash back towards the sea. And then in front of this you have this blue purplish section where there's a layer of very thin water above the sand which reflects the sky. I also use this colour mix to paint some cool bluish brush strokes on top of this warm green of the sea, as I'm trying to pick up a few areas where the sea is facing perpendicular to the sky, and as a result picking up the sky's bluish purple hue in the sea. As I paint the sand, I mix two separate mixes, one for the darker section of the sand and one for the lighter section of the sand, and I paint the whole area first just to try and cover this section with the approximate value, with the darker section being closer to the shore where some of the sand is wet. Once I've got this covered, I then paint in some smaller details of footprints of people walking in the sand. So one thing to bear in mind is that the darkest darks are almost always found in the foreground of the painting, because things which are further away start to get lighter and greyer due to atmospheric perspective, whereas things in the foreground you can tend to see the contrast between the light and the dark a lot clearer. So when I paint these footprints, I'm careful not to paint the footprints which are far away as dark as I paint the footprints in the foreground. And I've also made a lighter colour mix that I'm just dabbing by the side of the darker shadows, and this gives these footprints that 3D appearance. And here I'm using a round brush which has a fine point to paint in a few figures walking down the beach. I always enjoy painting figures into the scene as they help add some narrative and scale to the scene. If you like that video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I've also unlocked super thanks. So if you click on the 3 dots and then you can scroll down, there's a small heart with a $sign on it. And by clicking that, you can contribute as little as £2 or more to the channel. And that would be really appreciated because, of course, I'm sharing my painting approach and knowledge for free. But if you do find something particularly useful or you just really enjoyed the video, I'd be really grateful if you contribute anything to the channel, and it would definitely give me extra motivation to keep making new YouTube videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.